perspective. This right here, right now, is the joy of being a live stream. Coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. Folks, very excited to be here with you today. Let's see if this does have a natural expansion point where it isn't too small. There we go. Fixing. Okay. Folks, where are you at? What's going on? What's new? What is happening? What is the deal? Oh, I see what I did wrong. 1080, is that, what are the pixels of this thing? Anyway, playing around with video. Folks, where are you at? What are you grateful for? That's what I want to know. And we'll go from there. So, let's get in position here. Julia Temple, nice to have you back. As always. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, we don't have this on. It's the chat. Where's the chat? Can't see. Why can't I read? Oh, here we go. Chat. Oh, we do have the chat on, but it is above. Here we go. There we go. Julia Temple. I am the only one for whom the face is dual. No. There's only one. There's only one of me here. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not. There's no weirdly mirrored thing going on. I think it's, what if I just did the whole stream like this and just didn't say anything? Welcome, everyone. Okay. So, I'm trying to perfect this dumb mirrored thing. Okay, anyway, folks. Very nice to be here with you, as always. And let's see a little further. Okay, let's see if that fixes it. There we go. We're much more in the central. There we go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Joy of Being a Live Stream. My name is Janusz, your host, and this is the Joy of Being a Live Stream. Let me know where you're coming from. Oh yeah, I realize if I look out or look in. Anyway, welcome to the Joy of Being a Live Stream. Coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York, folks. Lovely to be here with you. I thought it was non-duality, exactly. Well, you know, the ultimate non-duality is duality, as they say. Turning in from Vienna, Austria. Grateful for Indian food. Ooh, lovely. Okay, I'm in Brooklyn. That isn't how you spell that, but I like putting my spelling mistakes in there because that's fun. I'm in Brooklyn. What am I grateful for? Human kindness. Thanks for following, Colin Hecht. Nice to see you. Is this Colin? Colin Hecht? I don't know your last name, so we're just getting started here. Is this Colin from Colin? I just spoke with yesterday. We're doing the duality pod stream today. Hey, Janusz, good to see you. Nice to see you here. Yeah, we're doing the ultimate duality stream today. This is parts work, people. These are the parts. There's the true self energy, which would be depicted. Okay. True self energy. That's this. And then Nate, welcome from Virginia. Okay, folks, if you're just joining us, let us know what you're grateful for and where you are at. True non-duality. This is the observer, and this is the part that we're going to be working with today. And yeah, we got to navigate all this stuff, folks. Okay. We're just playing around. We realized yesterday at our last stream that we could mirror ourselves here, so we're just fooling around. So folks, hit me up. Where are you at? What are you grateful for? We're going to meditate for 25 whole minutes. And today, unless people feel strongly otherwise, usually people do not feel strongly. I just want to be a cyclops here for a minute. Okay. Unless people, if I do this, welcome, everyone. Okay, well, that's good. Extra silly. Okay, unless people feel very strongly otherwise, crack myself up, folks. I could do this all day. Unless we feel very strongly otherwise. Today's meditation is going to be focused on what we did last time, but a little variety here. Last time, I've been experimenting with how to use my system of samadhi and showing people intro to sort of awake awareness, that path, those two sort of directions, because those are two ways that people practice. One is a path of directing the mind in a point, and the other one is taking in the overall experience. How to do those in combination with see, hear, feel. So this is a little bit experimental, and that's the general case. That's what we're going to do today. Nate said, would like some pointers on how to stay present. My reading is crazy today, apparently. I'm like struggling through like a basic sentence. Would like some pointers on how to stay present and observing during my first 5-day silent retreat starting tomorrow. Well, Nate, let me ask you a question. Is this retreat led, or are you doing it like solo style? Are you doing it alone, or are you being guided by others? If you're being guided by others, it's a little easier because there's a lot less executive functioning going on. I made a video. I actually never finished editing it. It was on how to do self-retreat. So there's that. Let me send actually, I have a video editor now, which I didn't when I made this video, and I could finish it if this guy could edit it. So I'm going to actually send this guy a message. Okay, so I'll answer your question if you answer mine. Okay, let's turn this off because it just feels classier without. I like it just like this. Very simple. Life is simple. Okay. Okay, I'm sending this guy a note to remind me. Remind me about the video for self-retreat. Excellent. Excellent. Whoop, whoop. Okay. So we're going to meditate for 25 whole minutes here, folks. Good times for all. If you have any interest, Nate mentioned an interest here, but it's not directly for this meditation. If you have any interest or curiosities, etc., keep those in mind. When you meditate, this is what I want you to do. Things will come to mind. You can just let those go. Experiences will occur. You will say, okay, this is what's actually happening. You'll notice certain direct experiences. I want you to report those afterwards using your digital technology or using your mouth. We'll do audio too. I want you to report those because it tends to make the system remember them more clearly by reporting them. And it's helpful for me. I can give more support in that way. So find a nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. We do this by arranging the body well. What do we mean by arranging the body well? This is another video I should make, is on posture. I should make a little short 30-second video on posture. So let's say you're facing this way, right? These are your hips, and your body's like kind of this way. So these are your hips. Hips sort of flex lots of different directions. It's pretty complex. But if we're sitting on something right at the edge, the hips will end up rocking forward. Most chairs actually have us sitting like this, so it's like our hips are rocked up. We're going to sit at the edge of whatever we're sitting on, so the hips rock down just slightly, probably literally about this much, maybe a little further, somewhere in this range. What this allows is for the lower spine to curve, a natural lower curve in the lower spine. As the hips go up, the spine goes this way. This is how most chairs are set up. It's like this, and the back curve. You'll notice that the lower part of a chair curves back, which is really not good for the back. So that's why people put a pillow in there. So people put a pillow in there, and the spine can curve this way, the hips can go down. And with this little curve, then you can have a natural curve on top. So upper part of the back, we were primates and we're curved over, and now we curve this way. Nice double curve. And then on top of that, the head can rest. And so you're finding a balance point from the tailbone through the crown of the head. So find that nice balance point. I'm going to have you keep your body entirely still for the duration of the sit. No movement. You can keep the eyes open if you'd like. But if they're open, just keep them resting on a single point. Nate, I'm going to answer your question after. It's led and is broadly focused on 4 foundations of mindfulness. Input would be great. Well, Okay, it's much easier. I'll give you input on that starting after the meditation. If I forget, remind me. Okay, folks, let's do a little meditation. Find that nice, comfortable position, and when you're ready, excuse me, when you're ready, we will begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths. Just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we begin a meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. So feeling the kind of mind that you're arriving to this meditation with. The speed of the mind is usually going about the speed of the previous task you're just engaged in, so you'll notice how quickly the mind will jump from one sensation to the next. We can see this by simply trying to observe one sensation without judgment as to what happens, noticing the mind will leap or drift. So feeling the physical body. Any turbulence in staying with this sensation continuously is simply the speed of the mind. It's simply momentum of our past, and we can shape this momentum for this moment and future moments. The way we do this is by attending to our sensations closely, gently, and by recognizing that whatever occurs is nature, no reason to fight it. So letting go of observing the body as a whole and noticing areas of the body as we relax. So relaxing the head, including the muscles behind the eyes, back of the tongue. Letting the relaxation of the back of the tongue lead into relaxation of the neck and throat. Letting this relaxation bleed into the shoulders, the arms, and eventually all the way down to the hands. The hands are packed with nerve endings. So tuning into the incredible depth, the density of sensation that occurs in the hands, the palms of the hands, the tips of the fingers. And letting go of any attempt to control the breath, letting the body breathe as it will. Notice the natural tightening and relaxing of the upper chest and upper back as the breath comes and goes. Relaxing the belly and the lower back. Relaxing these so deeply that they themselves relax the hips. Relaxing the hips so deeply that these relax the upper legs. Onto the calves, the ankles, and relaxing the feet. And then tuning into relaxation throughout the entire body. We've been breaking our experience into small pieces, and now we're going to take an overall experience, all of the relaxing sensations all together, switching from our attention to awareness. I'd like you to notice as you physically relax the overall experience of the body that it's very difficult to experience body sensations without the mind visually producing some orientation, some sense of an outline of the body. When we have contact with body sensation, it is always located someplace. It's down there or over there to the left or right. Most body sensation is experienced as below. The body extends out, and a tiny bit of body sensation, like the top of the head, feels like it's above. So notice that. Notice that wherever you detect sensation, it is located left, right, front, back, above, and mostly below. So we're transitioning from attending to the sensations in particular and more to their location. The sensations don't have to go away, but simply noticing each sensation has a location. When we began with our relaxation body scan, we were starting at the top of the head and sweeping downward slowly, piece by piece. And we're going to refer to this as visual sensation, largely because this space, this front, back, up, down, is all in relationship to the eyes. This is how the mind organizes space. Of course, the top of the head and the belly button are no further distance from the body than each other. They're both precisely 0 inches away from the body, but they are different distances from the eyes. So anytime we notice location of any body sensation in the mind, we can label this see. 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 Using the word as a kind of tag. To point directly at this. But of course, it's not just body sensation, which is located by the mind. We also have audio. So, bringing awareness to the audio experience and noticing that all hearing, including the sound of my voice, the sound of the environment that you're in, even mental chatter or mental quiet, all have a location. And we can refer to this as see. We're referring to it as see because it is still organized in relationship to the eyes. This can seem tricky, labeling sound as see, but we're labeling the location, or even the fact that a location appears or is detected, even if that location is all around. Around what? This is the mind producing and navigating space. See. See. course, if we get distracted at any point, we can simply label whatever the distraction is as not see. So our world has been simplified into see, any mental activity, particularly location, and the opposite of that, not see. So at this point we've eliminated distraction. Distraction itself is simply another arrow pointing back to see. So when we use our distraction label, our 2-word label, being sure that by the time we say that second word, we've returned to the experience of see. See. If we become distracted, remembering that realizing we're distracted is actually realizing that we've come back. So detecting in that moment, was the distraction the part of see? If so, labeling it. If not, using our 2-word counter label. That experience was not something very specific. It was not, yes, see. often in our meditation, as we relax deeply, our meditation can become very soft, dull even. And the instinct to counter this is to shoot our mind into attention, gripping down on the experience to experience it more clearly. But of course, this exhausts the mind and we drift further into dull unconsciousness. So seeing if you can clarify the experience, precisely this experience, without gripping down, without needing the mind to harden. Look for the vivid, brilliant quality of the experience. We might notice how any vividness we can experience in this moment has a location, regardless of what the content is. All vividness seems to be attracted to or organize around a location. And if location collapses and there's a non-spatial experience, this is still in the same realm. It's just a collapsed or decentralized version. So in this case, we'll still call that C. So allowing our label to now refer to the vividness of location, or the location of vividness. Even if we get distracted or pulled away, notice that realizing distraction simply means the return of the bright, vivid experience of the present moment. Returning from distraction means we're suddenly located in our usual locus, as though there were a center where self occurs, where the observer occurs. Not a problem, just nature. See. And staying with the practice, staying in stillness, allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes. If the eyes are closed, and eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point as they fully open. And often as the eyes open, all of the triggers to jump into action occur. The impulse to move the body, the planning. So just noticing these as having a location or an imagined arrangement. My mind produces my to-do list down and to the right, but it's different for everyone. The impulse to move the body is located in different parts of the body. So notice this particular moment as we sit here with our eyes open, as we do much of our day. This moment is what we've been working towards. This is the great teacher, showing us how we could bring this particular practice, observing location, the vividness of the way the mind arranges our life. How we could bring this into every aspect of our life. Ooh. Okay. Allowing the body to stretch, to adjust in any way that would be helpful. All right. So now is the time when you use that digital technology you've been graced with since birth. And you can write out your experience, but don't let the meditation go. Write in that weird haze that you're still in, or if you'd like, beep, bop, bop, beep, bop, bop, we can jump directly into chatting. Chatting being the most efficient, the bestest way to find out what's actually going on for you. Sorry, I'm trying to type this in so we can open up the Discord. And I'm still half in, half out. Okay. Beep, pop, beep, pop, pop, beep, pop. Oh. Great. Okay, folks, hit me. Oh, I didn't share the link yet. Wow, I'm really spaced today. Okay, here we go. Oops. I realize I do this every time. I should just copy the link. How about that? Ha ha ha. On my cheat sheet. How do I not do that already? Okay. Folks, hit me with reports. Any questions, quandaries, queries, comments, challenges, or concerns. I'm getting there. Yeah. Delicious matcha, folks. We're gonna have a little interruption here with an ad for delicious matcha and delicious handmade ceramic cups. Look at that shape. That's not a circle. That's a delicious handmade ceramic cup that I got for precisely $0 because there's a ceramic studio next door to me and they put stuff that they don't want in the garbage. Can you believe it? Someone got rid of this beautiful, here we go, let's let the camera catch up with this beautiful handmade mug full of green ass matcha. That's the maker. What's her name? Can the camera handle this? Oh, it's upside down. I love this new camera, man. This is such a delight. I can actually just put stuff in the camera. You guys can read it. I came Amy something, and I just dripped matcha on the floor. Okay, good times. Okay, Julia Temple has herself a report, or has themselves. I'm sorry, I actually don't know how you identify Julia. So Julia has a report. Julia says,
"Hi, this is the British man speaking. Started out with a good concentration and clarity. Quite a bit of kriyas at what I believe to be the seat of some old emotion. More distractions and dullness in the second half. Quite peaceful and pleasant sit overall."
Okay, I'm going to play that again because I was fully distracted by you saying this is the British man speaking. My mind cycled through like 30 different things. Like, what does this mean? So, Julia, because okay, help me with the gender identification. I don't know if you're joking because we had the British man's voice on the playback thing, but I'm playing it again. I'm going to ignore that. Help clarify that.
"Hi, this is the British man speaking. Started out with a good concentration and clarity. Quite a bit of kriyas at what I believe to be the seat of some old emotion. More distractions and dullness in the second half.
Okay.
Quite peaceful and pleasant sit overall."
Okay. So, and Julia, this is what I'll ask. And this is a great report, and the report, I wouldn't know if it was related to this meditation or any meditation. So this is a good clarification. So with what we talked about today, specifically around C and location, and by the end, the vividness. In particular, today we're experimenting with, using our two-sided label where we have the object and then not the object, steering the mind back towards it. How did that work? How did observing location work? Those things, I would love to know that. Nate says the following. Oh yeah, P.S. Nate, this ties directly into what you had talked about last time, is I can't detect feel sensation without some level of C, and that's exactly correct. And today we sort of jumped into that. In fact, perhaps noticing that we can't detect any sensation without some level of C.
"It's interesting to find that my feel and sensations are also see and sensations. Not sure how to unsee body sensations now."
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think once you see this, it's very hard to not start to feel like, wait a minute, C seems to be everywhere in everything, just it's thumb in every pie. And that's really true. It ends up being this thing where beep up is we start to recognize that the glue that holds our experience together is C in. Julie says, "I agree." To Nate, C and not C. I'm being very careful here to pronounce this correctly. A little unfortunate factoid there about the potential pronunciation here. I feel like if there's an algorithm checking just what words sounded like, if we were like, hey folks, today we're going to talk about Nazi, that algorithm would flag our stream. So I'm sure that won't happen, but I agree. C and not C were very intertwined for me. Yep, and actually that's one of the things is you start to see, and I'm curious about that, Julia, that at some point there's like, it's very, very like, they're so intertwined. There is no real inside or outside there. Let's see. Oh, we missed one here. I love imperfect things. Makes them more unique. Well, let's see here actually. Matthias 84. Is this your first time here? Question mark. Members of the stream loading their auto responses. Let me know if this is your first time here. Matthias 84. Julia says,
But when the distractions became stronger, I lost that connection and quickly regained when coming back to being more aware.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, okay. You were joking about the voice thing. I was like, okay, yeah. It's just funny because I mentioned the gender thing and then you said that, but it was a delay issue.
Yes, I was joking about the British man's voice. I was kinda guessing it was going to be the other voice, cold sweat smile.
Exactly. Okay, great. Any other reports, questions? Oh, let's double check the Discord. Oh, we have Colin here. Welcome, Colin. I'm going to invite you to speak now. You're invited to speak. Just remember, if you're not wearing headphones, to turn off the volume of this live stream when you jump into the Discord. Very nice to see you here. So yeah, whenever you're ready. Oh, there you go. Hello, Colin. I don't hear you. You're muted. You're unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
I do hear you very well.
No, you cannot?
Yes, I do now. I heard you. I did hear you for a second there, Colin. What I would suggest... Oh, wait, you know what? Give me 1 second, Colin. It looks like there is an issue. Audio, video, input device default. That's wrong. Oculus. Give me 1 second. I'm realizing what's happening here. Here we go. High definition audio. Check. Nope. Give me 1 second. I know it's happening. This happened before. Give me 1 second. Headphone cable. The Discord is having a problem now. Default microphone. No, not the Oculus. Sorry. Thank you, Colin. Thank you for pointing this out. Nice little technical difficulty. Check. Nope. Nope. I'm going through one by one because they're all named such weird things. Check. Oh boy, is it like not having any input? Check. Nope. Check. Oh wow, the Discord is like not allowing, it's not taking in. Well, Colin, unless you want to sit here for a long time, very sorry. We can fix it, but it's going to take about 3 minutes. I just don't want to deaden the stream for 3 minutes. So let's give me a second. I'm going to see other people's reports, and we'll see if we can fix this. I wish my friend Tomalan could come in here and fix this live, but I think Tomalan is indisposed. Okay, let's see here. Julia says, I'm wondering about the different ways to turn household work into practice. Well, the one we did today is actually, it's a little advanced, so I would normally not say it to people, but this is an excellent, this would be an excellent way to do it, is look at the location of everything is located. You also say,
I guess just tapping into the sensations of your movements, etc. would be the classic, but I'm wondering if there is a way to combine it with parts work.
Yeah, well, you could do anything, and if any parts arose, which they're often arising, and you can look at, like, let's look at the part that's doing this task. Let's look at the thing that is picking up the cup, making a decision to turn it around, managing the live stream, managing the volume of my voice, managing like all of the different pieces. There's a part, or sometimes parts, that are doing this. So you're just observing, okay, look at this part that does it. It can be a little trippy because it feels a little like reflective, and often what can happen is another part, a sort of observer part, can come online and be like, okay, I'm observing this thing. So what you want to do is observe it in awareness and just notice that a part is occurring rather than trying to like pin it down. So hopefully that's a little bit clarifying. Don't forget my question. Thank you, Colin, for your understanding. I will definitely do your question right now. I don't know why that is. I think I know why that is. Right after the stream, we'll do a little co-working. So if people want to stay on, I'm going to fix that and chit-chat, and we'll get ready for... I also want to still talk about book club, because we want to talk about book club and start reading some books, but I just have big projects coming. I'm relaunching Progress of Shinsight, all these different things. So I'm trying to prioritize and realize that just because a project is interesting and would be fun and cool doesn't mean I should prioritize it. So book club is coming. Not yet. Okay. Don't forget about my meditation guidance retreat. Okay. So the following is my let's start again. Okay, your question was related to going on a retreat that is a guided retreat. What do you do to maximize your experience? Okay, so the following is my advice for if you're already going on a guided retreat, what to do to maximize your experience. This is different than if it's self-guided because you're outboarding a lot of the, the mechanics of how to do it. So the shortest version of this is to practice continuously. That's the one answer that I would recommend. Practice continuously. That means that if you're conscious, you're practicing. Now, the practice itself is going to be a little bit of a question, but the other thing that I would recommend is outsourcing or offboarding your executive functioning. So basically, if the schedule is X, you do the schedule. If the instructions are X, you do those instructions. Typically, if you're not brand new to meditation, if you're not new to meditation, the you have enough skills to metabolize whatever's happening, and you want to make sure to continuously practice and to continuously feed back whatever's occurring into your experience. So even doing a simple practice, because often for a short retreat, if they think you're a beginner, they're going to give you a very simple practice. It can be actually very powerful to just let go and just do whatever simple practice they're suggesting. This is also the answer of what you would do if you were concerned about freaking out because it's a long, silent retreat. The key is, to use all the tools that you have that are meditation related, to follow the guidelines and rules that they suggest, right? And to take support when you need support. The thing is that people think they're going to go crazy if they go to a meditation retreat. It's really, really not the case. Typically, people go crazy if there's just this huge amount of judgment and then never talk to anybody about it, or if there's this like great critical voice or this sort of a part of them that is operating, that thinks it has to manage things and doesn't think that that part is relevant to the meditation. I don't have to meditate. I don't have to metabolize that experience. I don't have to look at, if we're doing the 4 foundations of mindfulness, how that's manifesting as a physical sensation. Remember that in the 4 foundations of mindfulness, they're going to talk about emotion as something later on, but I always think that's a little tricky. I would just consider emotion a body sensation. So beep up is, I don't think you're going to go crazy, because the weirdest thing about retreat, if you've never been, when you get there, you think it's going to be like this whole thing. You have this whole thing in your mind. It's going to be like this. It's going to be so intense and whatever. And you get there and it's just you, just like this. It's like, imagine you just arrived at the retreat and you're like, oh wait, I had all these expectations, but this feels just like me. There's nothing going on here that's special or that's different. So you just meditate. And then when it's time to walk, you do walking meditation. And then when it's time to meditate again, you meditate. And so if you normally go crazy when you meditate, well, maybe that's a little bit of a problem, but you're probably not going to, because it's just you meditate and then you walk and then you meditate and you walk. Julia Temple, thank you so much for gifting that subscription. 40s AM, I'm glad you are now gifted a subscription here. That means you don't have to watch advertising. I think that's how that works. Welcome, by the way. 40s AM. I wonder if that's related to 40s AM radio. Is it your first time here? I keep trying to sneak in to find out. You know what? I realize, hey folks, real quick, everyone, it's Colin's first time here. I know that for a fact. Colin, welcome. It's lovely, as always, to have you here with us. We are very delighted to have you here. And as a tradition, because it's your first time here, we just wanted to say welcome. Very nice to have you here with us. Excellent. Thank you for joining us. Anyone else, if it's your first time here, please let us know. We would love to greet you in our traditional manner. Welcome, first timers. So Nate, tell me if that answers your question or not. If not, then we can go further, but that's the general breakdown, is follow the direction. You don't have to add a bunch of stuff. And in fact, there is an advantage to letting go of adding anything and just being like, because if you have a fair amount of experience, you're going to go in and be like, oh, that's not what my teacher said, or this thing's different. So just to do what is said, do what you're told, is actually, there's a very powerful lesson in that. Thank you, Julia and Nate, for welcoming Colin and welcoming anyone else who's new. If you're new, just here for the first time, let us know. And we won't tell you how, but we'll greet you in a very special secret way. Hopefully that answers your question. That's the simplest version. If it's on the 4 foundations of mindfulness, it's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to very quickly review my view of the 4 foundations of mindfulness, and how I would navigate them, because I think there's some translation sort of questions. So, and let me look up the sort of real deal, because I feel like I've self-translated this so many times. Oh, we have here a new subscription. Colin, thank you for subscribing. So very kind of you. Do we have something that we do when someone subscribes? I don't think we have like a tradition here. I feel like we should ham it up. I think I'm just going to put a bunch of green aliens in the chat, because that's how I feel right now. Great. Thank you so much, Colin, for that subscription. Very kind of you. P.S. If anyone doesn't know, if you have Amazon, it costs you nothing to subscribe. The link is somewhere in the chat. Okay, looking at 4 foundations here. I just want to make sure, because I feel like I've retranslated it so many times. I just want to make sure that I'm not okay. Okay, the first foundation typically is translated to the body, but also they're not referring to the next foundation is often referred to as feelings. So it's weird to say the body is one thing and feelings are another, because feelings, emotions at least, are a body sensation. So for me, when they say body, I include emotion. That is something I want to be included if I'm talking about the 4 foundations. If you want to get really tricky when you talk about the second foundation, it's pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, which I think is a little different than feeling, because while emotions tend to have those qualities, you can feel emotions, but you could feel emotions in any one of those ways. You could feel sadness and it could feel pleasant. It's totally possible. You could feel anger and it feels great. Like I think people really like, maybe not consciously, but they like that sort of rage tweeting and like looking at the TV. They love it. They like that feeling of adrenaline. So it's not, when you say the second foundation, which is pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, I try to disaggregate that from emotion. So you can have any emotional sensation in the body, but the mind will tend to tag every experience as it likes it or it dislikes it, or it doesn't really care. And that's what I think of as the second foundation. The mind is like, give me more, or it's like, I don't want that, or it has, it's sort of neutral. Most of our experience is going to be experienced as neutral. The third foundation is defined as mind, but this is, I think the best way I would translate this is as awareness. I think this is a great place to bring in awareness, and there's a good chunk of evidence to point to the fact that when we talk about Chittanupassana, we're actually talking about awareness of awareness. So when they get to third foundation, I would talk about the mind. Fourth foundation is always very, I think it's a little controversial, because they talk about it as dhammas or dharmas. But the problem is the word dharma, its definition is so insane. Like it's like if you actually look at it as a definition, and it's definitely what might be called a tautology, like it eats its own tail. A dhamma, or I won't say a dhamma, but the word dharma means every individual thing, and every relationship between every single individual thing, and the collective qualities of all those relationships between all those individual things, and the undifferentiated experience with no things, where it's all broken down and it's just a field of non-centered, time-free, awareness that is, timeless, etc. So if it means all those things, its meaning sort of collapses pretty significantly. So just, go with it. Ask those teachers how they think the dhammas are, and you'll often see that when they define dhammas, it's a little bit like nebulous. But don't worry about it so much. You're meditating. You're doing great. If you find a definition of dhammas that works for you, go with it, and don't worry about it. Remember, the mind working, being like, what is this definition? What is it? How do I get the right thing? Well, that's just a part of us. That is just more using this material. That's just the mind wanting or not wanting. It's just something sort of breaking apart awareness as an experience. It's just more body sensation or mental activity. So that's generally what I would say. I just want to mention that often when we talk about the foundation of mind, we'll bring in see in and hear in. That'll be sort of part of the mix. So that's sort of where they bring that in later. If they were actually to bring that in. But most of the time, they don't talk about that level of detail when talking about the mind. Usually people don't even know that's going on. So hopefully, Nate, that answers your question. Let me know if it does not, or if you need more clarity. And then from there, we're going to end the official part of the stream. I think I'll stay on a little bit to do a little co-working to get this audio thing worked out, because that was annoying. And your patience is very appreciated, Colin. So with that, yeah, I can't even be heard in the Discord. So I'm going to end this thing. And okay, folks, so with that, we're going to end the official part of the stream. We're going to do a little co-working here. Let me just double check my calendar, because sometimes I have somebody right after the stream. I don't want to bump into that. No, I'm good. The next thing I have to do is play with the puppy. And then I have an IFS person. Okay, so folks, great to be here with you. I'm not going to play the outro music. Actually, I'll play the outro music, and then I'll keep the stream going. How about that? That's the way to go. Okay. So, folks, listen to that groovy music. Listen to it go. Great to be here with you. And in this moment, notice that every experience you have, including the sounds, the sights, they all are located. They all arrange themselves in space. This is the mind seeing. This is the mind holding our universe together experientially. So notice that this is a great way to bring a more advanced practice into every aspect of our life. Folks, as always, practice well. Take care of each other, have fun, and we'll see you all very, very soon. But not goodbye, because we're back. We're going to do a little co-working here. If you need to go, folks, great to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you for people who